change Creepy Doll, or I would go back and redo Creepy Doll. That was maybe like my third video that I made. It was way back before I'd gotten very good at the mechanics of making videos, so it's kind of dark and grainy, and I think I can make it creepier and moodier now, given sort of my level of skills with telling stories and technically. I'm not ever going to go back and remake that video because I don't think anybody would really care. It's not one of the most popular ones. People like it, but I don't think it's one of the popular ones. I don't think anybody would care if I made a new version of it. I did make a quickie video recently telling people how to find me on Twitter, and I used the Creepy Doll characters, which gave me a chance to sort of revisit those characters and that sort of mood. That video's got a little bit of the creepiness to it, and that was satisfying to be able to go back and redo that, touch it that way. For the most part, I'm not. Usually. By the time I finish a video, I've got a pretty good idea of where it'll fall in the popularity scale with the rest of my videos. I know which of Jonathan Coulton songs are more popular versus other ones, and I sort of can tell by the level of gags or whatever that I'm putting in there how generally popular it's going to be. The one that did surprise me, though, was The Future Soon. I get so many comments from people saying, "Oh my God, that song, that video, that's my life," minus the killer robots. The song really seems to speak to people, and people really seem to think that the video that I made for it fits it very well, and so that one has got, I think, somewhere over 1 million views at this point, and that surprised me that it was that popular. I even got recognition from Adam Savage from Mythbusters. He tweeted about that video saying, this may be the best piece of machinima ever, which is a big deal coming from Adam Savage, so that was a lot of fun. In general, that sucks. I mean, I know people do that because they like the video. That's a good thing. But then they steal your video and they put it on their channel instead of yours, so you don't get to track how many people are watching the video or whatever. And it's even worse when these people sort of pretend like it's their video. I mean, that's just stealing. I don't know why that's why anybody thinks that's a good idea. There is one case where it's turned out to be a good thing. My video for 1st of May was, let's say, it was a little racy, and YouTube took it down. Something about it being inappropriate. I have to agree with him. It was inappropriate. I just wanted to make that video to see if I could, and then I could, and it got taken down. But there was one guy who emailed me, and he said, "Hey, I can't believe they took down that video. Is it okay if I put the video up on my channel so people can still see it?" And I said, knock yourself out. Go ahead. The video is already down, so what do I care? So you actually can see my 1st of May video on YouTube, but it's on somebody else's channel. And for some reason, they haven't taken his down. They took mine down. They didn't take his down, which sucks. Well, like I mentioned, I'm always looking for new music that I can use for videos, although, like I mentioned, it's ended up being a lot tougher than I thought because the criteria that I look for, I guess there's not that much out there that fits. That Twitter announcement video that I made, the Creepy Doll one, I got to use a wonderful reimagining of the Creepy Doll song in a kind of a classical Tchaikovsky piano way by someone named Borbis Bonatti, who you can find on YouTube. And I'd love it if I could use his stuff in the future. If I can figure out a way to turn Mark Aaron James's Aquaman's Lament into a WoW video, I'll do that, because that song's a lot of fun, but it's got Aquaman and Batman and that kind of stuff, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that in WoW if I'm going to. And Jeff McDougall wrote a great song for a Song Fu contest that could be worked into a good video someday, again, if I can sort of figure it out. It's kind of like with the Tom Cruise Crazy video. I just got to figure out the click, the idea that's going to have it all fall into place. We'll see. I actually had to look this up before recording this to make sure I knew the names and everything, but there's a Still Alive cover on YouTube by someone called Cupcake and Tea. It's completely adorable. She's singing along with the words, gets a bunch of the words wrong, very cute. My favorite part is the part where she holds up a sign for the part where in the song where it says we're out of beta, we're releasing on time, she holds up a sign that says no beta left, you know, as if she's not really sure what beta actually means, which is very cute. So that one's my favorite one so far. I think probably my current favorite is Blue Sunny Day. My longtime favorite, like I think, you know, the one that's probably the best, just not currently, is The Future Soon. I've always loved that one. I think it's got all the pieces that I'm looking for in a JoCo song. Yeah, I was at that. You can actually see me. I'm in the front left of the audience wearing a bright orange Kraken's jersey from Scott Sigler's audiobook, The Rookie. So you can look for me on there. The question is what my favorite moment is. And it was a pretty great concert. It's kind of hard to think of a best moment. I mean, I think probably when they broke out Rock Band and started playing Still Alive Rock Band on stage, that was pretty amazing because it's not something that you expect to see at a concert, and it just sort of pushed you over the top and say, man, this is just fantastic. Also at the end when they brought out cake for everybody, that was just sort of a nice touch. Again, something that you don't expect to see at a concert, and it really made this one kind of special. That was a really funny, entertaining evening. I went with my 10-year-old daughter, who's a huge Mythbusters fan, and for her, she really enjoyed the whole thing too. And she stuck with it pretty well. You know, a lot of those 80s Star Wars references and that kind of stuff, she wasn't getting them all, but she was doing all right. But her big deal was she wanted to get an autograph from Adam Savage, and we had actually prepared some duct tape for him to sign beforehand. So she was super interested in making sure we got his autograph on the duct tape. We had just watched the duct tape Mythbusters episode the night before, so she was all fired up. And so we got that. He signed it. He said, this duct tape is now Mythbusters certified, so my daughter's loving it. Also, I got to introduce myself finally to Adam Savage, and when he found out who I was, he gushed over my Future Soon video, which was amazing. So it was a great evening. The Buffalo thing sounds pretty awful. So I'm going to have to go with the Fred video, although I've never watched an entire one, so maybe that would be worse. It's hard to tell. Not really. I make these videos just for fun, and so it's always very gratifying when people like them, but I don't really have too much to push. I'm on Twitter now, like I talked about earlier. Spiff World is my name there on Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, I usually complain about, you can follow my excuses for why I'm not, why you have to wait for a new video because I'm, 50% done, or I'm 20% done, or I'm complaining why I'm not done, or something like that. And if I've got anything important to talk about, I'll put it on Twitter. I've actually got something in the works right now that I'm not ready to talk about, but when it is, I'll be sure to tweet about it. So that's the place to check it out. Sounds like a trick question, but I'm going to have to go with probably Spintown?